The Jim and Terry Show, coming to you from the Hobbit Hole Studio in sunny downtown frosty frozen Bob Cajun. I'm Terry.
And I'm Jim. And I have a question to you.
You have a question, Jim. Go ahead.
Is it corruption if you just buy an election?
Is it corruption if you buy an election? Well, I think we have some examples of buying an election. And yes, money can buy you just about anything, but money can't buy you love.
Can't buy me love.
Get Jim singing a song, a Beatles song nonetheless. We're talking about corruption because we were talking about the amount of money being thrown at U.S. elections and how long U.S. elections take till you get to election day in the U.S. So I'm looking at money and time and saying, or asking the question, is there not a better system?
Well, there's probably a better system.
How about Canada's system?
Well, Canada's system's better. We do have limits on spending. Yeah, and I like that idea.
So do I.
Keep it fair as you possibly can, because you should go over the numbers for the people, Terry, here of what you're showing me there. It's incredible.
We were talking about the American context because an economist that I like to follow, Robert Reich, is giving us examples when we look at inflation and we're looking at unemployment rates and we're looking at blaming Biden for all of this stuff. You got to wade through some statistics. And one of the statistics is the amount of money being spent on elections. If you want to focus on money, you got to look at the Republican Party, but these ones aren't broken down by party. And I would like to see that data. So I would like to go over this. But here's the numbers. The numbers are from 2010 to 2022, 12-year span. How much money is spent on U.S. federal elections? The midterm spending. That's not even the big prize, which is the presidential year.
Yeah.
So this is the off-year budget. How much money gets thrown at those elections? 2010, $32 million. 2014, $232 million. What happened between 2010 and 2014?
A lot of people with money got on board.
Apparently, there was a lot of people with very big pockets who threw a lot of money around, and I'd like to know where they went in terms of left or right. Who?
But it doesn't end there, does it?
It doesn't, because that was 4 years from 2014 to 2010 to 2014. From 2014 to 2018, it tripled again to $611 million. And then this year, the prize goes to $811 million and counting, which will break the $1 billion barrier for an election.
Amazing.
Could all of this money be on attack ads?
Oh, when did that first start happening, man? The attack ads.
I hate that.
So do I.
And I use it with a capital H, as in H-A-T-E. I hate that.
I like the idea. I like the idea that you run your election on what you're going to do.
Yes.
And I have no problem with saying what they did is wrong. I know that. But when they start saying your daughter's ugly, and you don't want a president with a daughter who's ugly.
Well, my gun's bigger than your gun.
My gun's bigger than yours.
I got more guns than you got guns.
Yeah, so I don't. That's a gazillion amount of money, and as you said, that's midterm.
Midterms.
So when does the election for the president start?
I think it starts
like tomorrow.
Like tomorrow, as soon as the results are known. Here we go, back into the next election cycle. They call them election cycles.
Well, it's exhausting to me, and I'm not an American. Funny thing is, though, is every time some of the people who you would say had maybe a nut loose, like Marjorie Greene. Whenever they spew out some sort of a weird thing, the fundraising goes way up. You notice that?
So the crazier you talk.
So isn't that sort of like the ultimate of a kind of an evil? Because if you're just saying things you don't believe just to get money, then what kind of people are we going to have running the country?
It's not only that you personally, as in the politician promoting that thing, they don't believe it themselves. That's one thing, to deceive yourself. But when you deceive others, that's a whole other level of not good.
Well, it's like I told you that my opinion was that a lot of the people, and in this particular case, the GOP, I said they don't believe that. There's no way they believe that.
Yeah.
They can't.
Yeah, you keep
because
saying
it's an
that.
absolute lie. So to me, that's a part of like selling your livelihood, your world, because
Oh, I like the way you said it the first time, which was you sold your soul.
Wow. But that idea that you would, for your own personal gain, couldn't care less if you're telling the truth or not.
No, truth doesn't matter.
I mean, what happened to this world when truth was everything? Or we hoped it was.
Well, let's see. I think it began back when the inauguration of Trump took place, and we heard Trump say, it was the biggest crowd ever.
Well, and he believes in the same ideas as Hitler did, studied them, that if you say a lie long enough, 7 times or whatever, people will start believing it. So you can just say, and I'm sure if you stop the average American in
The average Fox listener?
yeah, if you stopped them and said, who had the biggest turnout for a presidency, it would be...
They would say Trump.
They'd say Trump. Even his rally, which had a lot of people there, but it didn't have 1 million. But I heard someone the other day said there was 1 million people, all peaceful, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
There was no...
The January 6th insurrection, the attempted coup...
It was peaceful and
was
nothing
peaceful.
happened. They were just there, peaceful, kumbaya, having a great time.
Yep.
All of that other stuff, well, did you not see it? No, I shut it off. This is the ultimate
This is the
blinding
interview
oneself.
at the most recent Trump rally.
Yeah, no, I shut it off. So you didn't watch it? No. Why? I didn't want to. Well, so you didn't see the rioting? Oh, there was no rioting.
Yeah.
But you shut it off. You didn't watch. Well, I didn't want to. That was the strangest argument I've ever seen. I don't. If I don't see it, it never happened. It just
Jim,
didn't.
you're not really here. I've got
not-
my eyes. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no
hide
evil.
and seek, So, yeah,
It's the most scary thing I've ever witnessed in my life. When what you say and see and hear right in front of you, someone will deny that was seen or heard or said.
yeah.
How is that possible?
Well, I don't even know how it's possible, to tell you the truth. But talk about deception. Like, I mean, no wonder the world's in the situation it's in. If we're that fooled, like, am I fooled? Maybe. I don't know, but that is incredible. And I saw that woman myself say that. Myself, I didn't have that just
It
from
wasn't
you.
a chopped, manipulated
No, it
clip.
was, the guy was like, you're kidding me, right? Like, no, 1 million people showed up for the Trump rally. It was all peaceful, wonderful, peaceful. Nothing happened. No breaking into that didn't happen.
Unbelievable. In this day and age, we have the tapes. We do have the tapes.
But they won't look. She said it herself.
No, I'm just going back to the news stations. Where are they getting their information? Largely from Fox and far-right media. Why I say Fox is because they air their stuff. We can hear the words of Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham. We can hear the words of Jeanine Pirro. We can hear all of their morning breakfast group and whoever they are on Fox. We have the tapes of you saying stupid, false stuff.
Well, I've never
And
heard.
people believe it.
I haven't heard anything. I've heard Tucker Carlson say some just absolutely ridiculous
Abhorrent,
stuff.
not just ridiculous.
But I
abhorrent.
can't get Fox. I guess I could take the time to go online. But we've argued about this till the cows come home. I think I got enough of news without having to dig.
Well,
that one
I
up.
do it for the research because I'm curious and I want to make sure that am I getting this wrong? Did he really say that? So when it blows up on Twitter or on social media, I have to say what really took place to be fair.
Yeah.
Right? You don't want to judge anybody.
And
But-
you also don't want third-hand
No, you
information. You want to see it yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So where do you get your news? Who pays for it? We talked about most of the media. The big media is owned by Republican donors.
That blew my mind when I saw that a lot of the major mainstream, which a lot of the far right reject, are owned actually by right wing people like CNN.
Right.
That was a surprise to me.
Well,
So
CNN's taken that page turn now where they got a whole new lineup and they've fired people and hired other people and they're rebranding themselves and they've brought back on, I hate to say it, but I enjoyed the respite from the right. I'll say the right instead of the far right. I'll just say sometimes the people, it's not worth listening to. And I've asked you this, I asked myself this, I asked my wife this. When you listen to them, how can you tell you are talking to someone who's detached from reality and who's a Republican card-holding voter? You can tell because they sound a lot like Alex Jones.
No! Don't bring me up on this. I'm not going to even let you talk about
Okay,
it.
so there's the Jim and Terry Show parody episode. Yeah, 32 million in 2010 to nearly $1 billion in 2022 in 12 years.
Only the midterms, not the
Only
presidency.
the midterms. I can't wait for 2024. $2 billion.